An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. This thinking is what drives government to pump billions of dollars into the education sector. It's what drives parents to work hard and ensure their children have the tools to succeed in school. And it's what we hope motivates you, our students, to give it your best in this new academic year. We're just one day in. The journey ahead is long. Good luck for the school year ahead. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. We have back-to-school tips and other important information for you on the other side of this break.
Respect for myself and others. Self-discipline means there's a right way to conflict resolution. Kindness and compassion say being nice is normal. Honesty and integrity are badges of honor. Yes, we choose values for life.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, September 5, 2022. 20 housing units are being built for residents in Denham Town under the government's new social housing program, NSHP. Prime Minister Andrew Holness broke ground on Friday for the $71 million Victoria Palms development, which will be distributed under a new component of the program.
There will be certain undertakings that the persons who will benefit from these homes will have to sign on to, because these houses will not be entitled to them. They will be able to live in them under a lease, but these leases will have conditions of use.
The multi-story housing scheme is being funded by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation and the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Mr. Holness says measures have been put in place to prevent the facility from turning into a slum.
Because it is going to be almost like a housing scheme, the persons who are going to benefit from it will have common areas to maintain. And so they will be required to pay a very small maintenance fee. And since we are partnering with the Ministry of Local Government through the Poor Relief Program, there will be some kind of management and oversight of the facility.
12 units are slated for completion within a 9-month period, while the entire development is scheduled to be completed in 2023. Mr. Holness says more units like these will be constructed in other sections of the island. As students return to classes for the start of the 2022 academic year today, the Minister of Education is reporting that 6 schools will receive CCTV cameras to help ensure the safety and security of students, teachers, and other staff. Minister Favour Williams says the CCTV cameras are being installed at a cost of $15 million. She adds that all safety steps implemented during the previous school year will be maintained this year. These include metal detectors and random searches for objects that could cause harm to others. The Education Minister adds that there will be continued support from a team of psychologists to help with the behavioral management of students who may have difficulties adjusting to the return of the face-to-face environment.
We've increased the number of guidance counselors by 98 to 1,016. We continue to implore our principals, our teachers, and administrators to heighten their awareness and increase their vigilance.
Queen's Counsel Carolyn Reed Cameron has been sworn in as the island's new public defender. Mrs. Reed Cameron, who was sworn in by Governor General Sir Patrick Allen last Thursday, succeeds Attorney-at-Law Arlene Harrison Henry, who retired in April. The Governor General says Mrs. Reed Cameron's appointment speaks to her exemplary service over 3 decades of practice and her dedication to the field.
We are entrusting to you, Mrs. Reed Cameron, the rights, privileges, and responsibility to carry out your function without fear or favor. You will listen and investigate allegations or complaints concerning breaches of our laws and Constitution by any person, ministry, department, or statutory body.
The new public defender has committed to creating systems that will clear the backlog of cases, securing a new location for the office to facilitate access for the physically challenged, and providing quality services in compliance with the Data Protection Act.
The Office of the Public Defender, therefore, has an onerous task to shine the spotlight on inefficient systems and make recommendations for change, and to ensure that the justice of every situation that it is confronted with is met, while preserving the constitutional rights of our citizens.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness says it is not recommending monkeypox vaccination for the general population at this time, even as it prepares to receive its first shipment of vaccines this month. In a press release on the weekend, the ministry said the initial tranches of vaccines would be administered on a priority basis to healthcare workers involved in direct care of monkeypox patients and without the appropriate PPE, as well as adult household contacts and sexual partners of a confirmed case. On Friday, the ministry confirmed 2 additional locally transmitted cases, bringing the country's monkeypox case total to 7. The 2 latest cases are males from Kingston and St. Andrew, both of whom are reported to be in stable condition, with one isolated at home and the other in hospital. The health department has commenced contact tracing associated with both cases. Members of the public who experience the warning signs for monkeypox infection must immediately isolate and call ahead to their health care center or doctor before visiting. Symptoms are usually mild to moderate and include fever, intense headache, swelling of the lymph nodes, back pain, muscle ache, and/or rash on the skin. Person-to-person spread may occur through direct contact with monkeypox skin lesions or scabs. This could happen through sexual or close personal contact, as well as contact with contaminated personal items such as clothing, bed linen, or towels used by an infected person, and respiratory droplets by way of coughing or sneezing of an individual with a monkeypox rash. Jamaica and the South American nation of Paraguay are set to sign a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) aimed at building regional tourism and boosting growth in the hospitality industries of both countries. The announcement was made as Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett held bilateral talks with Paraguay's Minister of Tourism, Her Excellency Sofia Montiel de Afara, at the Montego Bay Convention Center. He says tourism offers an opportunity for deepening the relationship between Jamaica and Paraguay, adding that the partnership will inure to the economic development of not just the Americas, but more specifically individual countries. There are several areas under consideration for the MOU, including building the capacity of small and medium tourism enterprises for them to better manage and be able to contribute to the economic value chain and enrich their own experience. Other areas for attention include air connectivity and multi-destination tourism to enable a larger flow of visitors from far-flung destinations. The Jamaican and Paraguay tourism ministers also discussed collaboration in the training and development of human capital. In this regard, the Jamaica Center of Tourism Innovation will play a role in enabling training and certification of a number of key workers. Paraguay's Minister of Tourism says her country is keen on having Minister Bartlett chair a working group to fine-tune the MOU, which it is hoped will be signed when he takes up an invitation to visit the South American country. And finally, Jamaica secured several major accolades at this year's staging of the World Travel Awards, Caribbean and the Americas Gala, held at Sandals Montego Bay last week. Among the many awards, Jamaica was named the Caribbean's leading destination 2022 for the 16th straight year. The island also copped the award for Caribbean's leading cruise destination 2022, Caribbean's leading tourist board 2022 for the 14th year in a row, and the Caribbean's leading nature destination 2022. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett says the accolades are proof of the resilience of Jamaica's tourism sector and its committed stakeholders.
And I want to use the opportunity tonight to give special Jamaican phrase big up to the members and family of the Jamaica Tourism Association and the teams that have worked so hard to put us in a position where today we can say that we are outpacing our performance in revenue in tourism and just a trifle behind in terms of arrivals.
Several Jamaican-based tourism entities also received awards at the event. Dolphin Cove has been named the Caribbean's leading adventure tourist attraction. Sangster International Airport is the Caribbean's leading airport. The Port of Falmouth is the Caribbean's leading cruise port. And the Montego Bay Convention Center is the Caribbean's leading meetings and conference center. Sandals South Coast, Half Moon, and Margaritaville are among the accommodations that also secured awards, with several attractions also recognized. In total, Jamaica and its tourism entities received 26 awards. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
If you are experiencing symptoms of the monkeypox virus, including fever, intense headache, swelling of the lymph nodes, back pain, muscle ache, lack of energy, and/or a rash on the skin, you must self-isolate immediately and call ahead to your health center or doctor before visiting. The virus may enter the body through broken skin, even if not visible, the respiratory tract, or mucous membranes, eyes, nose, or mouth, and has an incubation period of between 5 and 21 days. The spread of monkeypox may occur when a person comes into close contact with an infected animal, direct contact with monkeypox skin lesions or scabs of an infected person, contact with clothing or linen such as bedding or towels used by an infected person, and the coughing or sneezing of an individual with a monkeypox rash. Wear a mask, frequently wash hands, and practice physical distancing as part of the infection prevention and control efforts. For additional information on monkeypox, visit the Ministry of Health and Wellness website at moh.gov.jm or contact the local public health department.
On Sunday, our Education Minister Favour Williams addressed the country to report on the state's readiness for the new school year. For all those who missed that important message, we've got you covered.
It gives me great pleasure to speak to all Jamaicans on the eve of the new academic year 2022-2023. I welcome you to the new school year that comes with a new hope. A hope that after the dark clouds of COVID-19, we're getting back to normal life. This is welcoming, especially for those early childhood children who will be starting school for the very first time. Those primary school students who are going to high school for the very first time, and all students as you move to the next grade. Let us go forward with enthusiasm and let us do our best to provide a great experience for our students. I would like to recognize the work of the team at all levels of the Central Ministry and in the 7 regions. I want to acknowledge as well our school boards, our principals, our teachers, and all the administrative staff in our schools at all levels. It is your positive energy and dedication to excellence in education that will cause the transformation in the sector. We are committed to engaging in dialogue with our school communities, our key stakeholders, and the wider public through a variety of communication channels to get support for the continuing transformation of the education sector. The focus will be on implementing the recommendations of the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission. As you know, if we don't implement the recommendations, we cannot expect to see different results. We're not unmindful, however, of the significant strides that have been made in the education sector. We're celebrating 60 years as an independent nation, and we at the Ministry of Education and Youth believe that notwithstanding challenges, we've made notable progress over the many decades, and this should be appreciated. The current debate is rightly focused on where it should be, on the quality of education, and how can we get more of our students performing at a higher level. Within our budgets, we would have procured printed textbooks and e-books so more of our students can have access to textbooks. The first tranche of the appropriate grants for our schools would have been sent to schools already, and the second tranche is due this month. We would have procured devices for our students and our teachers. Entering this school year, 8,469 teachers, representing 95% of teachers in our primary schools, have laptops. Our focus now is on providing similar laptops for teachers in our high schools as we seek to encourage the use of technology as an important contributor to to the teaching and learning experience. Our efforts to have all our schools equipped with adequate internet connectivity are underway, and already many of our schools have been connected. In dealing with teacher vacancies, we have responded with a number of initiatives to help our school boards and principals in their teacher recruitment efforts. Yes, there have been resignations of some teachers at the start of this new school year. However, many of our schools have reported that they have filled the vacancies or are wrapping up on interviews. We will continue to work with our school boards and principals. We would have communicated many strategies to use, including engaging our retired teachers, especially for those hard-to-fill areas such as geography, history, physics, and other subject areas. As you know, 1,877 teachers are off on vacation leave, retirement, or study leave as of September 1, 2022. Our principals have approval to hire back these teachers who will be compensated into the positions. We're also encouraging teachers who are in schools with excess teachers to apply for voluntary relocation to a school in need of teachers. Our regional directors can provide the details of that program. As we get our children, our students, back fully into the face-to-face environment, we are committed to doing all we can within our budgets to provide for our schools. I sincerely appreciate all the teachers, support staff, school boards, administrators, and parents who work tirelessly throughout the school year to prepare students for success and ensure they have the proper support. Your efforts are both noticed and appreciated. The school year ahead holds tremendous potential and opportunities for students and educators alike. Our government has been consistently clear. The health and well-being of our children guide every decision we make. We are committed to improving educational outcomes and supporting young Jamaicans. I wish everyone a happy, healthy, and successful 2022-2023 school year. Thank you.
Just last week, we learned that Jamaica has recorded new cases of the monkeypox disease. Unlike the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak, monkeypox is not a pandemic, but it is a public health emergency that demands our attention. One thing that both COVID and monkeypox have in common are the infection prevention control measures that help to limit their spread. One of those measures is mask wearing. With our students now back in school, this is one of the things being recommended to keep them safe. Up next, we show them, and you, how to mask up in the correct way.
Face masks come in various shapes, colors, and forms, each with a distinct feature, but all with the same purpose: to protect. All students returning to the classroom in the new academic year are expected to wear masks. But how prepared are they? Are they aware of the proper protocols for wearing masks, and how important it is for them to wear masks correctly? Joining me to answer these questions and more is Mr. Keith Foga from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Thanks for coming, Ms. Foga.
Thank you for having me.
Ms. Foga, before we get into the protocols of wearing masks, let's establish the importance of mask wearing. Why is it so important?
So masks are important in the whole prevention of coronavirus, or COVID-19 as we call it. And this is because COVID-19 is spread through droplets that come from an infected person if they cough, if they sneeze, even if they talk or laugh sometimes. The droplets that can come from it is how it spreads. So if it passes on to someone, touches you, or you touch a surface and it goes into your eyes, your nose, your mouth. So the aim is that the mask is a protective barrier. So if I have it on and I cough, I sneeze, then the droplets are limited from going anywhere. It's kept inside, and the same if the other person is wearing the mask, so there's double protection on either side.
Thanks, Ms. Vogel, for establishing the importance. But as we all know, there are different types of masks. Are all of them effective?
All right, so we have medical masks, and those have been tested and tried and proven. However, medical masks, we usually ask certainly at Ministry of Health to allow the healthcare workers to wear those, because as you would imagine, their exposure is far greater than the average person. What we have found is the fabric mask also forms a protective barrier. Might not have gone through as much testing as the others, but it does form a protective barrier as long as you are using at least 2 to 3 layers of cloth. You want it to be washable, of course, so you can reuse them. You want it to be breathable, so material like cotton that is used for that is quite important in it. One of the things I want to mention as you ask about, the safety with the mask is the fact that there are some stylish masks that have valves on it, and we have to be careful with that. Those valves can protect the wearer, because as you breathe in, it closes. However, when you breathe out, it's unfiltered air that is going out. And so it protects the wearer, but it does not protect others around. So it's not a recommended mask to be used.
Thanks, Ms. Vogel. So let's get into the protocols now. How is it that persons are supposed to wear masks?
Okay. So the first thing is that the mask should be clean. So we want to ensure that we're using a clean mask. We want to ensure that persons wash their hands where they're at somewhere accessible to soap and water. If not, use a hand sanitizer before putting on the mask. So I'm putting a little sanitizer in my hand, and I think it's important to show, because persons think that you just rub and that's it, but you're actually doing it even as you would do your hands, washing your hands, because you want to ensure that the entire surface of the hands have been cleaned. The next thing we do is go to the loops, and then you're putting it on your face. So you want to ensure that every area is filled. So you put it over the nose and the mouth, and you put it around the loops of your ears. Now sometimes the top may feel like it needs to be up a little bit, or the thing, you can tighten that, and that's how you would do it. In taking it off, you again do your wiping with your hand sanitizer or washing. Again, go from the loops, not from the middle. Go from the loops, take it off, and usually when you take it off now, if it's just for a temporary moment, you can put it on a paper towel. We encourage persons to also, they can use a little bag as like a sandwich bag and have it in there, and then take it out when necessary. Of course, at the end of the day, you're going to be putting it in some soapy water to wash it, because you want to wash your mask every day.
So Ms. Vogel, even though most students are required to wear masks, we know there are a handful of students who are exempted. Can you tell us why?
So in terms of wearing masks, children who are 2 years old and under are not required to wear masks. And this is because their lungs are not fully developed, and we say you don't need to have the mask on them. Of course, you're going to ensure that they're not around a lot of persons and keep that distance, but we don't put mask on them.
I hope you think about what you've learned today and you do what you can to master the art of mask wearing. All the best.
We shift focus now from our future leaders to those who are already working to build a better public sector. Today we meet a lady that plays a critical role in Jamaica's engagement with its foreign partners.
Come in.
Hi,
Hi, Sheila.
Hi
How
there.
are you?
Welcome. Good to have you. Welcome.
Tell us, what are your morning rituals?
I tend to get up very early in the mornings and to try to be at work early because our missions, we have them overseas, and because of the time difference, we really have to have an early start here in order to meet them at the better point in their day.
All right. And in one sentence, can you tell us what you do?
I'm the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and head of the Jamaican Foreign Service, and we have responsibility for the development, implementation, and management of Jamaica's foreign policy and relations.
Okay.
One moment.
No problem.
Yes. Yes. All right, no problem. I'll leave shortly.
Always busy, I see.
Never a dull moment, never a dull moment. So much to do.
What was the most difficult decision for you this week, and why was it difficult?
It is not only for this week, you know, I always have difficult decisions. I have a rapidly changing agenda, and very often I have to just shift course and not be able to meet with staff, which would be on my agenda. And I find that is something that I really miss not being able to do. And but it is the nature of the job. Hi, Andrea. How are you? Thank you so much, and thanks for your work. Yes, and you know, we just have to live with the very fast-paced nature of this job and hope for understanding for the staff, and they have been good.
Has anyone or anything made you feel inspired lately?
I take quite a bit of inspiration on a Saturday morning when I walk up Mountain Spring. I see people of all kinds, shapes, size, ages, and they are pressing on. It's a really very demanding track, and just seeing them and see their, you know, their fortitude and their courage and just their persistence, and I have found that encouraging. It also teaches a valuable lesson because I learned that it takes a long time to climb to the top, but you can come down even in just about half the time. So it means that you have to be really very careful and thoughtful about how you conduct yourself and your work. Good to see you.
What would you like your legacy in the public sector to be?
You know, I'd really like to help to build the conviction about the pursuit of excellence. We need a tradition of excellence in the public service, and I hope that I can contribute to instill that in those who are working with me and around me.
Where's the most interesting place your work has taken you?
I have been to many countries, but I have to say, only because it is the smallest country I've been to, Monaco. Really very interesting rock, if one could call it that, and the corner of Europe, and I have found it to be quite delightful.
Before we go, I'd love for you to recommend one book you think everyone should read.
I don't have one book. I have one type of book. Autobiographies and biographies. I think there is something about being inspired by the stories of others. So if you think of persons, J.J. Mills, Edna Manley, Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, and all that you can learn about life from their own stories, that I find very inspiring. And that is what I would recommend. We just take the time to see how others have been inspired to live their own lives. That's what I would recommend.
All right, thank you so much, Sheila. Have a good one.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you for coming.
And that's how we close out Jamaica Magazine for today. We'll return tomorrow with another program packaged with you in mind. If you've missed aspects of today's show or want to catch up on all the major happenings coming out of Jamaica, visit our website, jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.